So when you introduce yourself to new prospects, do you always use your company name along in your introduction? Sometimes you shouldn't, and I'll explain. So I've worked for several different companies. Some have been household name companies and others are great companies. They just weren't household names. And one thing I learned over time is that confused people don't buy, or confused people put up objections or hesitate to let you in the door. So one thing I learned is that if I worked for a company that was a huge household name, like the leader in the industry that I was selling in, it was a big plus to use that name when I introduced myself to them. For example, I worked for Arthur Andersen when I lived in Los Angeles, and at the time, they were the biggest accounting firm in the world. Everybody I called on knew who they were. So when I called on the phone and said, "Hey, this is Kate, I'm with Arthur Andersen," like instant credibility. But then there's other companies I worked for, which were extremely credible companies. They just didn't have the household name status like Arthur Andersen did. And what I found is that by saying, "Hey, my name is Kate, I'm with blah, blah, blah company," it actually created objections like, "What is that? Who are you again? Who are you with?" And I learned, gosh, that's the last thing I want is people putting up a roadblock just because they don't recognize the name of the company that I'm with. So what I started doing is eliminating the company name when I introduced myself to people. I would just say, "Hey, my name is Kate," and I would tell them what I'm doing, a little bit about what I'm selling, but I never used the company name unless they asked. And it got me in so many more doors. And then I started coaching, thousands of salespeople, and I was coaching them to do the same exact thing. And they came back and said it worked like a charm, sometimes eliminating the company name. So I know we're so accustomed to saying, "Hi, my name's Kate, I'm with da-da-da," whenever we introduce ourselves to people. But just ask yourself, is the company you're representing a big household name? If not, then this week, just go about business the way you always do, but just don't mention the company name. Just say, who you are and what you're doing, and just see if you get fewer pushback from prospects. And I think you actually will. And if it works, comment below, subscribe, keep following me, and good luck out there.